All right, welcome back to Denoise. We're going to do our weekly Friday roundup of all the top news stories that if you're a filmmaker, you should be aware of in the tech world.
AI roundup, yeehaw!
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, we're back. Let's check off with the first story. It's actually not AI, but this is one of the coolest product drops that I've seen in a while. PortalCam from XGRIDS. This thing's cool. We have talked a bit about LIDAR in the past. I've got some LIDAR videos I did with Leica Geosystems about how LIDAR can play into film production. The problem with LIDAR, as these scanners have been really, really expensive. And they come from a background of surveying, construction. They're looking to get very accurate data, not the most photogenic data. Here comes XGRIDS. XGRIDS had had some other scanners in the past, but now they've built a new scanner that is specifically targeted for film production called PortalCam, and also its price point is excellent. Scanners traditionally cost anywhere from $15,000 on the low end to $60,000 to $100,000. PortalCam is $5,000.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it
How's
is
the
a LiDAR.
quality?
Yeah, the quality is excellent. So it is a LiDAR scanner combined with a variety of cameras on the front and on the side, which... Let's get the specs of these up, but these are much higher resolution than is normally built in. And so I had a briefing from them a few weeks ago, and they showed some scans of like an apartment. And basically, however long you sort of hover on a space is you get more detail. So if you kind of walk around the space and quickly, you'll get like a decent amount of detail. But if you kind of walk around and like go in crevices or go towards walls or details or closer to objects, you'll get a higher resolution. And it had like some pillowcases and some like very kind of fuzzy texture items in this apartment they scanned. And if you like went in and zoomed in really close, you could see the texture of the objects. And so just the combination of the cameras that is capturing the actual like the video data or physical data, and then the LiDAR scan that's capturing the actual like geometric space. And then their software just processes it all for you. And then you get these really beautiful, really complex, high quality scans.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's doing slam tracking on device, similar to what Leica or any of those higher end scanners would do. I mean, it's funny, we're covering this on AI Roundup. Like, as much as we like to think that a lot of this production is, AI powered, the reality is 99.999% of productions that are using VFX are using traditional stuff like this. And, this is still very much a work in progress, right? Like, there's still room for improvement with photogrammetry and 4D photogrammetry, videography. And when you are recreating a world for VFX, one of the first things that you do is scan the real world, and you bring that in even as a reference object, and then you start to augment it with 3D objects. So this is like a bread and butter tool, I would say, for any sort of VFX team that's doing combining digital elements with practical elements.
And yeah, I mean, there's a variety of use cases with this in film production. I mean, anything from location scouting. I mean, so you can go out to a location, usually you're like, oh, let me take a couple photos and stuff. And then you're like, oh, I missed that angle. Or like, oh, what's the measurement of that door space or that window space? Yeah. With the LiDAR and the scanner, you just walk around and scan the space. And then later on, you can just navigate around the space, move around it, take measurements, and the measurements are really accurate. And also, even if you're trying to scout somewhere, super far distant, you could send a person or have someone with a scanner and somewhere else scan the space, and then you could just navigate it on a computer and a headset. Virtual location scouting, shot planning, same idea. You have the space scanned, and then you could just figure out your shots in that virtual space.
Yeah, it's really important even on pre-production as well as principal photography.
Exactly. I mean, you could load it up on a wall. You could do virtual production with this, and this is your environment. What do you think? I mean, we haven't seen the actual scans here, but like, what do you think? Like, what would the level of quality be for what you would need for final pixel for loading, like on a virtual production on a LED wall? Yeah,
so it's hard to say from the outside of the device looking in, because you don't know what type of lasers it's using. It's obviously looks like using some RGB cameras, multiple of them. So either there is a really advanced algorithm in there that's doing the slam tracking, or there is just really high quality, capture elements in there. The reason why the Leicas and some of those, what I would call industrial grade scanners cost so much is because the actual hardware inside is inherently expensive, right? Like, if you want a high powered laser that can, you can shoot up to like 0.5 kilometer or whatever, that's going to be expensive no matter what. So they're relying more on RGB sensors here, which tend to be cheaper, but then you still need a pretty high powered compute on that device to crunch those polygons in real time and make sense of them, and that's what the SLAM tracking does.
Yeah, I mean, also, and I mean, they had told me too, it's like the slower you go, the closer you get to the surface of the space, the higher detail your scan will be. But yeah, if you're in a big, large open field or something where you need to capture a larger area.
Yeah, it looks like it's a class 1 laser, and it gives you the nanometer range there that's beyond visible light.
Here's the camera specs. 4-camera array, 2 fisheye, 2 front.
Right. So it's got enough hardware in it to be very, very useful. And, at $5,000 price point, that's insane. That's like 1/10 of what you would pay for a traditional scanner.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this price, even just for a regular scanner, I don't think I've seen a price point like this.
Yeah, if you're a professional VFX artist, you probably own like a Canon 5D, for capturing HDRs and things like that. I would imagine at this same price range, you would probably want to own one of these and do both photogrammetry and light capture at the same time.
And also, the nice thing is their software does make it easy to load and process this, because I think the gap too is like if you're just a regular filmmaker, not a VFX artist, or not someone who is super familiar with like 3D tools or 3D space, like how the process from scanning to getting a photogrammetry 3D model scan that you can move around in and making that easy to use. I think their software handles the bulk of that. But then if you want more, if you want to take that model out or load it into Unreal or Blender, you can do that as well. So it's sort of,
I would say
got the levels of user complexity.
For sure. I would say the game changer here would be if they integrate directly into reality capture, which is the standard go-to software for anything photogrammetry. It has been for a long time, and Epic Games acquired it, and now it integrates really well with Unreal Engine. I'm guessing they probably know about it, if not already integrated into it.
And also, going back to AI, the one thing we mentioned, and I'm 99% sure their software does do it, is a Gaussian splat. So you could also take your scan, turn it into a Gaussian splat, something that's lightweight, easy to navigate, and have that as well as an option versus a standard 3D model. Do
you know if it does 4D, like if it actually does anything moving?
I don't think it does movement. I did see, they don't have it here, but they did show me some demos where, we were talking about scanning 3D spaces, but like it is also designed to scan objects, and the cameras are high enough quality that and you just can kind of go up to, your object and walk around and scan it. So you can turn it into a 3D model. And they also demoed scanning a person, where there's like a person stand still and they could walk around and scan, but they were static. I don't think anything was video. I don't think there was anything with movement in it. The only thing is it has the opposite of movement feature, where like if you're scanning like a sidewalk and people are walking by, the software can remove people from the scan, so it's clean, or cars or stuff like that. So yeah, that was the first one. I'm excited to see once that's out in the world, and more people and filmmakers are using LIDAR scans as part of their production process.
Yep.
All right, next story. And this is firmly in the AI space. Krea has teased real-time video.
Wow. It's almost here, man. I've been talking about this for months.
Yeah, we've talked about Krea before, and I mean, they were always the one that had the sort of best real-time AI image generator, where you would kind of draw your shapes, and as you move the shapes around, it would update the image in real time, but it would keep making like different versions of the image. Yep. In this demo that they're showing here, it's a sort of same shape idea, but the video is consistent.
There's a lot of temporal consistency, which is really difficult. Yeah, and this is, the most obvious thing that comes to mind is ideation and previs and pre-production, right? Like when you just need to quickly iterate on a bunch of visuals, craft your shot, block your character. This stuff would, because visual quality is maybe not the most important thing then, but my mind also goes to games, right? Like, how far are we from real-time AI rendering?
Oh, for games and spaces like that.
Yeah. You're right. Even like a 2D mobile game, right, that doesn't rely on any sort of 3D mechanics per se. A real-time 2D renderer from Krea, like the way you're moving vectors and shapes around, that could be enough of a building block for you to deliver a game on that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking too, like, is it just going to be like a record, like a camera, like record, and just everything you're doing, it records it, and then you stop recording?
Like puppeteering something. Yeah.
Or yeah, just like what's the, you know, because like now the video's going in real time, can you just like record everything you do on screen?
For sure. I mean,
like what is this interface
this is
gonna look
almost
like?
Also getting into the world of performance art and any sort of like immersive art where, you know, there is a spatial and a temporal element to it, and you can do some really cool things by driving like a puppeteer or an artist driving some basic shapes and lights, and then have that transform via AI into something completely else.
So yeah, I'm wild to see this out. It was they had a wait list before, but I think I just saw today that they're starting to let people into the beta program that were on the wait list. So yeah, I'm curious to see.
Yeah, also I'm curious to know if this can run locally on a local machine, or this is just real time on the cloud.
I think everything they've done is on the cloud,
right?
Except I think they had that partnership with Flux with an image model, but most of their stuff's the cloud, and I would imagine this is the cloud. But yeah, I'd be
can you
curious
imagine
if there's
like running this on Comfy locally?
Version. Yeah,
that would be cool.
And if you could connect it, also, I mean, they didn't show it here, and I don't know if they'll enable this feature. But the other thing that Krea's image generator would do is, it was known for the little shapes and you could draw and move around, but you could also use an input, your webcam as an input, and you could, use your phone as the webcam. And so there were ways to sort of like find a shot and use that as the framing for the image generator. I'm curious if they're going to do the same thing with their video generator, because then that would also unlock, like what if you could just film the person, but you change the person into an instant dinosaur or creature or something.
Maybe you're able to augment it, right? Add a different costume or something in the background, something in the foreground, kind of like what Luma does with Luma Modify.
Right, but you're doing this in real time, and like you would actually have a device you could move and frame your shot instead of playing around with shapes and stuff.
Exactly.
You know what? Actually, I guess probably answer my question, because in this demo, here is a guy. Yeah. With that looks like a webcam, and he's messing around with real objects. So yes, I think I just answered my own question. You can do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, in real time opens up a whole new world of possibilities. So this is super exciting, and I think this is like a little bit of a fork in the road. We're still going to have traditional AI rendering, if you will, that's high quality, that's trying to achieve photorealism, and then we're going to have an offshoot that's like a real-time version of it that's meant to do cool things that don't necessarily translate back to quality.
Yeah, it's like, what if you could just rapidly ideate like super fast, or just make some new genre or some experimental film kind of thing.
Absolutely.
All right, next one, our old favorite, Qwen.
Qwen
2.2. There's another model. They have another model that
They're
they dropped.
Done.
And another one. So this one is Qwen 2.2 S2V. I believe the S is speech to video. So this is a voice-powered avatar animating model where you can give it the image, you can give it your audio file, and then it will animate the character to speak with what your audio file was. And like Qwen, you could run it locally on your computer. So yeah, so just sort of like another, just in that same bucket of like things you'd like your AI to do, and we're showing people talking given the character input and the audio input.
Yeah, I gotta say, listening to it sounded pretty good to me. Like much better than what VO3 originally dropped. And then I think
well, you are giving it, you have to give it the audio, so it's not generating.
Sure.
It's not generating the audio. So presumably your audio, you either recorded it from an actual source or 11 Labs or
it's
something.
Generating the lip sync and the timing and everything.
It's generating the lip sync, yeah.
Which is still
and
really
the performance.
Important. Yeah. Is that what 11 Labs does?
11 Labs is text to speech. They don't really do character sync. This is more like what Hedra does,
or HeyGen maybe.
Or HeyGen. Yeah, this is more in that category of the animated avatar with a speech input. But you could run this locally. And also, Comfy already has native integration built in with a built-in workflow. So if you update your Comfy UI, you can load up this their workflow that they already built and download the models and run this on your computer.
Very cool. And I'm guessing
or
it's
there
all
are a variety
free.
of cloud options you can do. Yeah, it is free.
Yeah, as is with most Chinese models.
As we've talked about the Chinese models, they are free.
Yeah.
They want to get you hooked on them.
Yeah, you are the product.
I had also another audio update from Hunyuan.
Yes.
I got it this time.
You got it.
I got it. They had another open source model called Hunyuan Video Foley. And so it is, I believe it analyzes the video and then it generates what it thinks are the appropriate Foley sounds for it. You know, you heard it. It's all right.
It's okay. It's getting there. I think, you look, they're all trying to close in on the missing components of an entire movie pipeline. And obviously Foley is missing up until now. Sound and speech is something that is still leaves a lot to be desired. So these guys are closing in on every single bit of movie production, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, as they version up, it'll probably get much better. But for now, I don't think it's quite usable yet for any sort of feature films.
Yeah, I wouldn't say for feature films, but for now I'm trying to remember because this conversation feels semi-familiar, and I don't remember if it was this specific model and we're repeating it, or there was another model that came out that also focused on Foley background sounds, because I remember saying in this last time we did this,
Adobe has something built into Premiere, I believe.
No, but that one was cool. That one was like you could make the sound effects yourself, and it makes it sound.
It'll do the Foley for
something good. No, it's something that was a similar like video input and tries to figure out the Foley. So I don't know if we're repeating this or if it was a different model, but the gist of what we were talking about with that one too was even if it's just AI generated stuff, like sound is so important. Sound also just helps sell the effect and just background sound, and that just like that audio texture that helps sell the effect of the fake world that you're building.
Absolutely. I mean, sound is
the fact that someone's focusing on it.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the fact that there's models and focus and attention onto that, you know, is important, and it'll only improve.
Yeah, the audio models tend to have one advantage over video models is that they are much lighter and they can run much faster. So a lot of times they can actually run on your device pretty easily.
Yeah. Speaking of on device, Apple AI update, which we don't normally talk about.
Nice transition. I love it. Yeah, Apple threw me for a loop, man. I kind of gave up on them after the whole liquid glass announcement and everything else that they missed on the AI front. But it turns out they're doing a ton of AI research in-house.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not surprised they're doing a bunch of AI research, but it's interesting too because so they basically released some models directly on Hugging Face, which is only if you're like an AI nerd are you going to know about this, or Hugging Face.
I love Hugging
Face. It's not a very publicly facing thing. Yeah, and shout out to Clement Delangue. Sorry if I'm slaughtering your name, but he posted out that he found this alert of this new model that Apple posted on Hugging Face that is called FastVLM.
And Mobile Clip 2.
Yeah. And it is analyzing video in real time and doing live captioning.
Yeah, I think the Mobile Clip 2 works in conjunction with the FastVLM to generate those live captions.
To look at the video and then live
caption the caption generation is actually probably from Mobile Clip, and then the VLM is analyzing the frame and the video to figure out what's going on.
And so it says, so this is pretty much doing it in real time as the video is playing.
That's really fast.
Yeah. And so, it could even do live video captioning 100% locally in your browser.
Now, I think a lot of people are wondering, like, why this is exciting. Why do we need live captions?
Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you. Imagine you have an iPhone, and that iPhone has a really nice camera, which it does. And now that camera can look at the world, analyze the world, know which cafe you're looking at, know which street you're crossing, know which person you're talking to, and then become almost an AI assistant, give you advice on what to order at the restaurant, which direction to go for that destination you're trying to reach, or, what agenda you have with this person you're meeting. So it could become a very capable interpreter of your day-to-day life.
Yeah, to like understand what's happening in the world around you.
Yes.
And do this in real time and do it locally. And so, I think Apple has sort of missed the ball with like large language models and building out these massive models. And like they're talking to Google and other companies to partner for that. But I think where they can win is like if they can get models that are small and light and like specifically functional that run on device.
Yeah, and they
don't
have
to go
really
do a cloud processing.
Amazing device that this stuff can actually run on.
Exactly.
So imagine if Siri was like an actual, assistant that can see and process the world, not just like a voice assistant. And then
and you don't have to have an interconnection or wait for it to like process or figure stuff out. It just does it.
It'll even work on an airplane where you'd have no reception, right? Because it's all running locally.
Yeah, so I think that's where Apple still can win in the AI game, especially because, we all have, like, their devices are in so many places, and they have the custom-built hardware, and they can build the same models that are fine-tuned for this custom hardware and processors.
For sure. I think in our world, the stuff that gets the most attention are image generation, video generation models, where we're very visual-oriented in film and TV, and so we tend to focus on that. We went bananas for nano bananas, right? But I think what will really change the world for everybody else outside of our industry, just like 99% of the public, is stuff like this. Either it's going to be an LLM that's super capable, or a VLM tied to an LLM that then gives you complete AI agent capability on device.
Yeah, and I mean, like, talking about image generation, like, the one thing that Apple has had released with AI is Memoji, or whatever their image generator thing is.
Yeah, Playground.
And we've joked about how, Playground, how not really useful that is. Yeah, once, like, actual useful AI tools come out from Apple, like a Siri that works and is functional and actually helps you do stuff.
Can I tell you a funny story? So I have a family friend who's, I guess, not as tech proficient. And he just discovered AI. So he'll occasionally send me Apple Playground generated avatars to make fun of me and mock me. And to retaliate, what I do
as it was meant to be used for.
I go into Nano Banana and send a highly photoreal, highly complex thing back just to one-up him every time.
I will say the most useful function that has happened in Apple or iPhone, the iPhone recently, is where you can where the AI that can isolate the subject in your photo, but then you can turn that into a sticker.
Yes.
And so in our group chats, we have like taken the like most unflattering photos of all of us and turned them into stickers, and now use that as like reaction posts on comments.
Do you delete?
Yeah, so that's using AI.
That's using AI for really important things, Joey.
Yeah, exactly. Next one, AI hardware update.
Nice.
So we got the NVIDIA Spark they renamed it. The NVIDIA mini computer that was talked about at CES, and we haven't heard about it.
I think
it
was called the DGX or something like that.
I know they changed the name of something. It was like there was like the Spark, and now it's the DGX or GX. It's something.
It's that little gold box.
Yeah, it looks like a little Apple Mini, but it's built from NVIDIA, and it's like a little personal AI computer. Acer now has announced they have their own AI mini workstation built on the NVIDIA GB10 superchip. So this one is called the Veriton GN100 AI mini workstation.
Wow, not very, very catchy. That's a really good naming.
Veriton sounds like Voltron. So it's a mini workstation. It is selling or retail for $4,000 US. What would you use an AI workstation
for? $4,000 is actually not bad for a high performance computer. Mm-hmm. Like it's a GPU alone is $4,000, and I'm guessing you are probably getting as much juice as like a 4090 card, perhaps even a 5090 card. So again, what would you need it for? If you are a developer that's using Comfy UI day in and day out, I could absolutely see high usage but there's not that many of those people out there. I would imagine this goes into, maybe not now, but in the near future, when you have a company that relies on AI tooling, and a lot of it is local inference based, you give your employees these computers to run on their desktop. So like this replaces the computer you have, but everything on it is agentic and AI based.
And running locally.
Right. So
yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that for like large enterprises where if they want to have
an example
AI
from
models
our
running.
world is like VFX artists. So maybe not now. We are still very much, transitioning in a transitionary period. But a year or two from now, I strongly believe a lot of the VFX tools and capabilities will be AI based, right? And it'll be very complex, comfy workflow type things where you're doing multiple things with multiple models, and all that stuff will most likely run locally with maybe a couple of API nodes that are connecting to the cloud. So for those instances, when we typically relied on VFX hardware to be, GPU heavy and incredible RAM, incredible memory, now we're going to transition to something that's really AI efficient and ready for local inference.
And yeah, I hear from the press release too. Developers, researchers, data scientists, students can leverage common frameworks and tools to prototype, fine-tune, test, and deploy large language models locally or seamlessly scale out to any accelerated cloud or data center infrastructure. You could also link to Veritons to scale up and work with AI models reaching up to 405 billion parameters.
Wow.
Pretty big.
Yeah,
pretty big.
That's awesome.
So yeah, also if you're training your own models as well.
Yeah,
which,
totally. I could see that. A lot of the AI training, I mean, you have resources like Replicate and, like cloud-based resources where you can pool a bunch of GPUs together.
Where you type into, exactly, and not have to buy a bunch of GPUs.
NVIDIA is really doing this to accelerate AI development. I don't think they expect to make a lot of money from this. If anything, I think they're losing money making these boxes, but it's like a loss leader
to have
for
more
them.
AI models out there. Yeah, because if there's more AI models out there, they got to run on something.
Yeah. You got to give people the hardware to make the models that then make them money.
Yeah. There's a pitchfork,
Jensen's three chess moves ahead
metaphor
of us.
somewhere in there. The more you buy, the more you save.
Yes.
All right, back to apps.
Yeah.
Not AI, but interesting in the film space. Adobe Premiere, they now have an iPhone app. They brought Adobe Premiere to the iPhone.
That's pretty cool. I thought they had given up on this whole mobile effort with Premiere.
On the mobile thing, right? Because this is not the first time Premiere, or not Premiere, but Adobe has done mobile apps. They just never called the Premiere. It was like Adobe Rush, and it was sort of like a different branding that was sort of trying to position it as like more
and they had
creator friendly.
I think they still have Photoshop on mobile as well.
Yeah, definitely for the iPad, because that's like a bigger use case, because you got the iPad's cool. Yeah, so I mean, it's cool that they kept the Premiere name, the Premiere branding, and brought it to the iPhone. I think this is more to compete with like CapCut and these other mobile first. Yeah,
even in their demo videos that are really popular, cutting vertical videos together, and it's all like 3-second, 10-second clips. Very, very social media oriented.
Yeah, which makes sense.
That entire creator economy and all the creators that make their living off of vertical content, they're doing so much of it on the phone, on the fly, right? That's their
main device, and that's where they started on. I'm wondering too, I'm thinking too, like probably like also by keeping the Premiere name, this is probably a good entry point too. You're a creator, you're someone young, you like start on your phone, you start making stuff on your phone. Oh, hey, by the way, there's like a much more powerful unlock of this software. Goes by the same name, same exact thing, probably similar, UI, like similar features, and then it's not that big of a leap to be someone who starts working and editing on their phone and then switches to the desktop version of Premiere.
It's a great play on Adobe's part, and I think the other side of it, if they pull this off, and I'm not sure if they already have, is if they have Creative Cloud integration on this, and then you can upload your project file, your video, all of the proxies up to the cloud, and then pull down on a desktop and continue your work.
Yeah, which I think Rush sort of had some version of that. I think it was like a one-way sync where if you started a project on Rush, you logged into your Creative Cloud account, I think you could pull it into Premiere, but I think it was like you pulled it and you were like, and then you're on Premiere, you couldn't like, it wasn't
back and forth,
a two-way sync. Yeah.
What Blackmagic has done with Blackmagic Cloud and integration into Resolve, I think that level of sophisticated distribution is something that is really missing in this world.
Yeah, I mean, Adobe, like I'm curious if they will ever integrate. I mean, they own Frame.io. They have the cloud hosting capability. I mean, that's kind of been kept as a separate brand and company, but their team collaborative system is basically like it'll manage the project files, but it won't do anything with the proxies or the media files. Their documentation is like, that's on you. We recommend, like Lucid Link or something, which can work great, but then you're buying another subscription.
And
to
most
Lucid
people
Link to
who
store
are doing
there.
editing on their phone are not going to make that leap. Yeah,
I mean, we're talking very complicated
exactly
workflows. But I mean, to what we were talking about before in their press release, if you're familiar with Premiere's desktop experience, you'll recognize the multi-track timeline with colors and dynamic audio waveforms. So trying to make that connection there. I don't see anything about syncing.
Yeah, maybe not yet, but I'm sure they're thinking projects. Of it, and I hope
I would imagine that's got to be on the pipeline. But I think it's to your point, or what you're talking about with Resolve, I was thinking of Resolve, but more in the sense of, I think they did such a good play by making a free version of Resolve that has turned into the entry point for so many entry-level editors and, just kids in high school, because it's like, it's literally free, like legitimately free. You don't have to bootleg it. and then you start on that, and then it's like, oh, hey, you want to upgrade and unlock some more features. But that's been I think that's helped Blackmagic over the decade that editing has been in Resolve.
You got to hook them while they're young.
Gain more footholds, and that's where they learn. So I think this can also be a counterplay from Adobe's end to like help get younger people into the Premiere and Adobe
for sure.
ecosystem.
And also, speaking of ecosystem, I just see that they have Firefly integration into this app. So again, you could bring some generative AI elements into it, pending quality.
Yeah. Interesting. And they got the generative sound effects in here too.
Yeah, that's a pretty capable mobile app.
They're bringing in the good features.
Totally pay for that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, especially if I could do it on the phone on the go and then push it to like
on
the
new
desktop,
Apple iPhone 17 Air that's going to come out next week.
Oh, then I like big monitors. Yes. All right, let's see. Got a couple left. Another one from Hunyuan. Their world model, which there have been a lot of world models, and I'm 99% sure we've already talked about this because they teased it. The HunyuanWorld-Voyager is now officially out. So this is their world model 3D generator. But you could also do a direct 3D output. So you could export point clouds to 3D formats from the world that is being generated.
Yeah, and they call it long range, ultra long range. I guess what that really means is, it has enough retention to go beyond just a few seconds of traversing the world. And you could probably go on for much longer.
Yeah, that you can move around a little bit. Yeah, because I've seen some other world labs, but it was sort of like you're sort of at the position and you can kind of move in a little circle and get some depth perspective, but you couldn't really move around. In these demo videos, you're moving a bit.
Yeah, I wonder if you turn around and walk back towards the origin, does that still remain of what you saw?
It seems like it, because I just saw that it had a full map of the thing that was generated on here. You see this little village. So it built the full village, and then this is just walking, or that built enough of the village where you could walk around and get a couple different perspectives.
That's cool. So this is competing right on with Genie from Google.
Yeah, a bit. Well, but Genie was a video generator for multiple minutes, but it wasn't giving you a point cloud, or you could in theory probably extract it if you had the video, that you record the video and could extract it, but this is we'll generate
this is meant to replace traditional world building in games or movies or whatnot.
Yeah, or prototyping, or just
maybe industrial use like autonomous driving even.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really
where the money's going to come from.
All roads lead to robots.
You've been saying that lately.
I think we're living in the Westworld.
I think you need to do another. It looks like a documentary.
Yeah. There is a fighting robots in San Francisco. But no, we're living in Westworld. It's just instead of a theme park, it's little models to make videos. But the real goal is to, AGI.
And then with Neuralink, you're in there. It's the Matrix.
Yeah. We're in the Matrix. All right, the last one, just more of a quick update from Google Flow. So they're basically making VO3 fast generations unlimited if you have the Google AI Ultra subscription, which is the $250 a month subscription. So it's kind of pricey already, but it was still a credit system, and it was credits to do fast. But now we'll just say free pick started the trend. They're going the unlimited route. So you could make a bunch of VO3 fast. And then I think I talked about this when I was messing with VO3, where it was I would just do fast a bunch for cheaper credits. And then once I found the prompt that worked well, I would then run it on the VO3 full. So then it was less guessing.
Yeah, I
think
they're doing this to save money internally because people are making so many mistakes.
Please stop using VO3.
Just give them the little one for free so they do less of the full generation.
Yeah, so let's go. I'm glad. Definitely there's a mental unlock when it's you don't have to keep worrying about credits and stuff. And you can just keep making stuff.
We went from plasma TVs that were $20,000 down to now LED TVs that are $200. That decline in price was so rapid and so fast that we just don't care about TVs anymore. They're just cheap. You can just go pick one up anytime.
Yeah, you can get a really good TV.
So I feel that's happening with AI inference. With image and video generation. At first, everything was super precious, super expensive. I'm only going to generate 10 videos today, and now you're everything's free everywhere. I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Hope you enjoyed our AI roundup. Yeehaw.
Roundup.
Sorry, Joey.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
I think we should double down on this and make like actual
Like cowboy stuff.
cowboy sound effects. We need some more music hits.
I
in
could
this.
do a Texan accent if you like. Oh, right now.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you had some. You bust out like some really good accents out of nowhere.
And this
Like,
here's our Texas. And this here's our AI roundup of the week. Yeehaw. Pretty good. Okay. I wanted to be a voice actor. I just
it reminded me of the Big Thunder Mountain voice guy. All right. Links for everything we talked about. DoYouKnowWhatPodcasts.com.
And a big thank you to our Apple Podcast subscribers. We have hit an amazing milestone. Joey and I high-fived each other. We've hit 1,000 downloads per month, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for following along and recommending it to friends and leave a review if you haven't done so already.
And
we appreciate it.
On the last Nano Banana episode, we've been getting some cool comments, so thank you for those. Joey's been answering them, so keep commenting.
Yeah, we try to get back to everyone. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you in the next episode for Apple
Nice.
Keynote next week. So we'll catch you there.